So I posed to you guys this question before we went to break, because I think it's a fair one to ask. Think about what you do for work. You might be working with a female. I don't know, but just put yourself in that situation if you ever have, if you don't now. And at the workplace, in the workplace, you look over at her and you call her an effing bitch with witnesses. You think you'd lose your job? What do you think would happen to you at that point? I think at minimum you'd probably be written up and suspended and put on notice. Because you can't talk to people like that, especially in the workplace. Well, it happened to Ocasio-Cortez. At least it appears that way based on witnesses that have been speaking out about it. Let me explain. Ted Yoho, as I like to call him, was a run-in against the House's number 2 Democratic leader, who's now demanding an apology. I'm talking, of course, about Ocasio-Cortez. Yoho, as I like to call him, is accused of using a sexist slur after what was said to be a confrontation with Cortez. The Hill newspaper said one of its reporters witnessed it. It was a Monday encounter between the two. The Hill reported that Yoho and OAC, the comments were made linking poverty to crime increase in New York. He called them disgusting. The Hill reported that he uttered a sexist slur when the coronavirus ended. But there were several other reporters that also collaborated this story, calling her an effing bitch. But he's not apologizing for it because he said he didn't say it. That's what he's claiming. So on Wednesday, AOC wanted an apology. He wouldn't give one. And Yoho, it was a somewhat apology, but I want you to have a listen to this in regards to the comments in regards to the crime in New York City and poverty. Have a listen to this.
Having been married for 45 years with 2 daughters, I'm very cognizant of my language. The offensive name-calling words attributed to me by the press were never spoken to my colleagues, and if they were construed that way, I apologize for their misunderstanding. I cannot apologize for my passion or for loving my God, my family, and my country. I yield back.
First of all, when he's a coward, what do you mean your passion? First of all, you don't have to swear at a woman to have passion. That's number one. This has nothing to do with passion. It has to do with anger management and being just a jerk. That's what this has to do with. He makes excuses. Oh, I have passion. So that's okay to call a woman an effing bitch? A colleague, somebody that you work with? People have such hatred inside of them that because he disagrees with her on policy, he has to have a run-in with her. Well, AOC got the last word. Because you can say what you want about her, and I'll tell you something, I don't always agree on her politics, the Green Deal, and all this other stuff, but she's not a stupid woman. She worked hard to get to where she was at, and unlike somebody like Jared Kushner, whose father paid $5 million to Harvard so he could get into Harvard, nobody did that for Ocasio-Cortez. She graduated from Boston University. She was a bartender so she could make money to pay her way through school and to become the person she is now and a congresswoman. You can disagree with her policies. I do. I disagree with a lot of her policies as well. But to even suggest that she didn't work hard to get to where she was and she's just a stupid bartender, which, by the way, people on the right have done. They've attacked her for that as if there's something wrong with being a bartender and graduating from Boston University and doing on your own and not having a silver spoon in your mouth. I'll tell you something. I have a hell of a lot more respect for Ocasio-Cortez than I'll do a Jared Kushner or a Donald Trump Jr. any day of the week, ladies and gentlemen, any day of the week, because she's battle-tested. And that opinion has nothing to do with her political views. No one gave her anything. And this is another example of how tough she is. Because I do believe he called her an effing bitch because you have several reporters that collaborated her story. And now she was on the House floor yesterday responding to the comments. Have a listen to this.
And Representative Yoho put his finger in my face. He called me disgusting. He called me crazy. He called me out of my mind. And he called me dangerous. I walked back out, and there were reporters in the front of the Capitol. And in front of reporters, Representative Yoho called me, and I quote,
There you go. There's no excuse for that language. There's no excuse for attacking her, and there's no excuse to be doing it even outside the chambers as they're walking into work. So she went on, and people can agree or disagree with this, but she says this is a pattern among Republican men. Have a listen to this.
But the President of the United States last year told me to go home to another country, with the implication that I don't even belong in America. The governor of Florida, Governor DeSantis, before I even was sworn in, called me a whatever that is. Dehumanizing language is not new.
And by the way, she's right. I remember when DeSantis said that because he's a complete fool. And I remember when Donald Trump told her to go back to her country. I remember all those comments, and I called them out because it's wrong. More than wrong. So she also went on to say the comments are offensive to women, which I agree with. Have a listen to this.
Mr. Yoho mentioned that he has a wife and 2 daughters. I am 2 years younger than Mr. Yoho's youngest daughter. I am someone's daughter, too. My father, thankfully, is not alive to see how Mr. Yoho treated his daughter. My mother got to see Mr. Yoho's disrespect on the floor of this house towards me on television. And I am here because I have to show my parents that I am their daughter and that they did not raise me to accept abuse from men.
I don't disagree with her one bit. Not one bit. Not one iota. It should never be accepted for the way she's been treated. You can disagree with her policies.
You're assuming that that's true.
It
wasn't caught on video. There's no audio of it.
So first of all,
you have reporters out there with.
So everybody's lying.
I'm not saying everybody's lying.
So what are you saying?
I'm just saying you're assuming that that's true. That
Yes, I am.
That he actually called her those 2 particular words.
He apologized for his language.
He apologized for handling the situation incorrectly.
And
if he called her disgusting, and if he said that, because she didn't just say those. There was a lot that he said there.
Okay.
He apologized for calling her or for handling the situation wrong, but he didn't apologize for calling her those words.
I'm going by the evidence.
Apparently, according to him, he did not call her those words. Now, you're saying that a couple of reporters collaborated it, fine. But where is it on video? Where is the audio of it?
Just because you don't have video or audio of something doesn't mean it didn't happen. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is
it's hearsay.
The second thing I would say is it's not just hearsay. You have several reporters, credible reporters, by the way. One from The Hill who actually did an interview and spoke about what happened, used the same language that Ocasio-Cortez used. So unless Ocasio-Cortez is collaborating with several reporters to get their story 100% right, I believe it. I think any reasonable investigator would say, unless Ocasio-Cortez is in cahoots with several reporters who are now on the record using the exact same language that Ocasio-Cortez used on the Senate floor, yes, I think it did happen. Hold on.
As far as his statement about her being dangerous, when she said that the crime in New York City is going up because people don't have money to pay for food because of COVID-19, that's justifying.
Okay.
That's justifying committing a crime.
So we're talking about
if your family isn't in a position.
Okay, completely different argument. That's a completely different argument. We're not talking
to
about
live correctly or the way that you think your family should live.
You are talking about
that is dangerous.
Okay, I'll tell you
that's why he called her dangerous. Because of that statement that she made, which was one of the craziest statements that I've ever heard a politician, actually anyone, not just a politician, but anyone ever made.
So I find it very.
I'm not.
Can I respond? I find
where are you going with this?
I find it very troubling, and I know you're not the only person to feel this way, but I find it very troubling that when you first hear about the story, you try to discount it, you call it hearsay, you think it might not be true. And then you defend one of his comments because you don't like one of her policies. I find this to be very troubling. And
I'm saying that's where that comment is coming from.
I find it very troubling that the first thing you do is try to discount the story. And I think that's wrong. You have several reporters that have corroborated exactly what Ocasio-Cortez said on the Senate floor. And the first thing that comes to my mind, and by the way, I'm not even an Ocasio-Cortez fan. I don't support a lot of her policies in politics. But the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, it's just hearsay, and she is dangerous. I find that very, very troubling that that's the first thing. The first thing that comes to my mind is, wow, this is horrible. What this guy did is wrong.
Yeah. If I knew it was true, I would condemn it. Mm-hmm. I don't know that it's true, Brian.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So there's no evidence. All right.
I'm not saying there's no evidence. I'm just saying I don't know that it's true.
Okay. Well, guess what? What she said about DeSantis was 100% true because he's on the record of saying it, attacking her, whatever that is. He also is on. She also has Donald Trump on the record telling her to go back to her country. Those are on the record. We have the audio of that. So she's right. There have been Republicans.
And what was the context of that?
That have
Brian?
gone after her.
I believe that context
so
was.
You're going to defend that
no,
also?
I believe that context was if you don't like America, go back to where you came from.
And that's not racist at all. Okay, sure. First of all, Ocasio-Cortez was born in the United States of America. So anyone who defends
Obviously, that's incorrect.
Anyone
clearly, Donald Trump was incorrect in that regard.
I use a different word. I use a different word. I don't use incorrect. I call ignorant, and it's a racist remark.
Okay.
For someone to go after
ignorant, incorrect, as a result of being unaware or
to
being
go
ignorant,
after a
fine.
congresswoman that was born in this country and to tell her to go back to her country is indefensible. I don't care what anybody says. It is indefensible. And my response is not, well, he was incorrect. No, it was disgusting what he did. And it was disgusting what Yoho did. Yahoo, whatever the F his name is.
And I think it's disgusting to push socialism and
so you're going to go to the policy
and,
thing
and,
again. That's your
policy is a big deal.
So
Brian.
you're going to defend it by talking about policy.
And to say that this is the reason why crime in New York City is up.
This is what people do.
And to justify people committing crimes.
You are justifying this man's behavior
and hurting other people.
You are justifying this man's behavior by defending it by going after her policies, which is utterly ridiculous.
I am saying I don't know that it's true or not.
You don't know that it's true.
I don't know.
Sure.
A couple of reporters collaborated, fine, okay. But there's no audio, there's no videos, and the people that usually have audio and video, which are reporters, don't have any. Why?
You don't know that it's true.
Yeah,
so that's the first thing that enters your mind.
If I knew it was true, I would condemn it. I just said I would, but I don't know that it is.
Okay. What about
and
the
you have an
statements?
issue with me not thinking that it's true?
Yeah, I do.
Or not being completely sure that it's true.
Most people would have. I think most people that are not biased would have a reaction of, "Boy, that's really terrible."
There's no bias involved.
No. So you said it might not be true.
If it was
you're discounting it.
If
You're saying it's hearsay.
If Ocasio-Cortez was a Democrat or was a Republican and Ted Yoho was a Democrat, I would think the exact same thing.
Okay. Well, I haven't heard you go after a Republican like in weeks, so I don't know if I agree with you on that one. Believe me, I don't know if you're telling the truth or not. What I do know is that your first reaction when hearing this story, and maybe some other people have this reaction as well. The number to call 702-257-5396. Your first reaction was, sounds like hearsay to me. And then you went after Ocasio-Cortez policies instead of saying, even if you don't believe it, or even if you think there might be some doubt in this story, which clearly you do, why can't you just say, man, if he really said that,
I did say
it's
I
awful.
I said,
no, you didn't.
I said, Brian, I
could only say you'd condemn it.
What? Is that not good enough for you?
Well, I mean, and then you
want me to talk the exact same way you do.
So
you're unhappy with the way that
you're
having
a problem
rhetoric because it's not the way your rhetoric is.
Here's why. First of all, this isn't rhetoric. So
it is at that point.
No, I don't think you know what the definition of rhetoric is.
Of course I do.
No, you don't. Okay, explain to me how when I hear this story. And I hear several reports, because I have the facts, I'm not sure you do. Several reporters have collaborated. Hold on, let me finish.
And you mentioned The Hill, which is a Democratic publication.
Let me finish. There were three other publications that were there.
What were they?
And all the reporters in this article, you can read the article. I did the show prep on it. You can read it after the show if you want to. Okay? In this article, all the reporters have corroborated the story that Ocasio-Cortez have told. My initial reaction is probably true, not out of the realm of possibility. And I also say I feel bad for her, and I think it's horrible that he did this. Your original reaction is defending it. We have a lot of calls, so I want to take some of them. 702-257-5396. Go to Adrian. Adrian, you're next up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Adrian?
Hey, brothers. Good morning, man. I'm just here with the fellas, man. AOC, the way she dismantled that dude yesterday in front of that crowd was amazing. You know, our country has a virus right now because you got a president who sleeps with porn stars, so this is what happens to the country. So now this young lady has to fight for herself just to make sure she's heard because you got people threatening her life. And you got Kiki Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court now, who everyone was backing. Like I said, dehumanizing people and bringing people down. And that just seems to be the guy's, ideal right there. If you're not on my side, you're an enemy. Even Mitt Romney, the poor guy can't even think his own thoughts. So they completely...
Amen, Adrian. Amen, Adrian. You're absolutely right.
Ass, man. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Adrian.
I
appreciate it. And Adrian, you're absolutely right.
I'm not sure how Donald Trump and the Stormy Daniels situation correlates with the virus, but okay.
It sets an example and a behavior and mistreating women. 257-5396. Peter is next. Peter, what's going on?
What's up, Peter?
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, I was wondering, Brian, what's the difference, or is there a difference between this AOC statement and the Bubba Wallace incident? Are we crying wolf now?
What does this have to do with Bubba Wallace? I have no idea what you're talking about.
No. What he's saying is
Can
that...
I just ask the caller?
Okay.
Caller, go ahead.
Fine.
Caller? Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you talking about? How does this have to do with what does this have to do with Bubba Wallace? I want to hear it from you. Maybe JD gets what you're saying, but I don't.
Uh-huh.
What does this have to do with it? I'm asking you. Can you answer?
Right.
What do you mean right? What does a congressman calling a congresswoman an effing bitch have to do with Bubba Wallace?
Well, first of all, he said he didn't do it.
Oh, so yeah, he must not have done it.
Condemning him before there's even a trial or anything.
There's not going to be a
all the time.
I ask you a specific question. Please answer it. What does a congressman allegedly, if that makes you feel better, calling Ocasio-Cortez an effing bitch have to do with Bubba Wallace? Please answer the question.
It would make you feel better if it was allegedly.
Okay, so you're not going to answer the question. Thank you, Peter, for making absolutely no sense on this show. I want a minute of my life back. 257-5396. Let's go to Daniel. Daniel is next on the Vegas Take. Daniel, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Daniel?
Hello. I just wanted to say this is my first time calling, getting in, and I listen to you guys quite a bit.
Thank you, Daniel.
And I really enjoy the show. But, Brian, you are so far left that I know you're going to start cursing me out and telling me I'm on knee pads and all this other stuff. But just listen to what I'm saying.
I'm trying to.
The story today is Trump campaign was spied on, but all you want to talk about is AOC and how she wants to.
First of all, sir, if you listen to the show, I haven't even.
I do.
Okay, well, when was the last time I mentioned Ocasio-Cortez on this show?
Just a few minutes ago.
No, I understand that, but after, as far as not today, when was the last time I talked about Ocasio-Cortez? No. You just said no. Pot him down. You don't have to hang up on him. You just said all I want to do is talk about Ocasio-Cortez. You say you listen to the show all the time. I'm going to give you one more opportunity to answer this question. When was the last time I even mentioned Ocasio-Cortez's name on this show? Go ahead as we pod him back up, Sean. Answer the question, Daniel. When was the last time I mentioned her name?
Whenever it benefits your needs.
Absolutely not. You're not going to answer the question. First of all, okay, you know what? You know what, Daniel? You know what, Daniel? I've had enough of you.
Daniel.
I've had enough of you, Daniel.
Thank you for the call.
Yeah,
Great call.
Thank you for making no sense, Daniel. The answer is I haven't even mentioned her name in 6 months.
What's going on here is he's saying, yeah, we're talking about AOC now. We talk about any time that a Republican does something wrong to a Democrat.
Absolutely not true.
We don't talk about Obamagate and things like that. Now,
because Obamagate doesn't exist. It's a conspiracy theory. This is not a conspiracy theory.
It is not a conspiracy theory.
Yes, it is.
Brian. No,
yes,
it's not.
it is.
And we're going to have.
Yes, it is. It doesn't exist.
No, and we're going to have George Papadopoulos on the show. In about a week, and he is going to. He's going to literally make you eat those words, so to speak. That it is not a conspiracy theory.
Okay. Well, comparing
Donald
Obamagate
Trump
does not exist.
Donald Trump.
We get to some more
Donald
calls.
Trump today on Fox News said that the FBI and members of the FBI committed treason.
So it must be true.
That's a very aggressive thing to say.
And you said Pelosi committed treason as well.
Why is AOC telling the truth and Ted Yoho is not? Because you have a clear bias towards Democrats.
No.
You accuse me of having a clear bias towards Republicans, and you're actually projecting because you have the thing that you're accusing me of.
No, I'm projecting,
which is perfectly fine.
I'm projecting right now because we have 9 people on hold.
That's great. Let's get to them. Let's roll.
Instead of you going on a right-wing tangent, I would like to get to some other calls.
It wasn't a right-wing tangent. I was just explaining what he was saying.
You can explain to the callers, and you can keep going if you'd like. Go ahead.
When someone calls in for a minute and you say that made no sense whatsoever, then I say, well, here's why it actually made sense to me. That's why. So that's all I was doing there.
All right, fair enough. So you want to finish the segment and talk about your conspiracy theory Obamagate, or should I take another call?
It's not a conspiracy. Fine.
Yes, it is. Call. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear you say that. All right, let's go to Emmett. Emmett, you're next on the Vegas Take. Emmett, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Emmett?
Hey, guys. So I've been involved in politics a long time, and obviously you guys have been as well on the radio. I mean, we've all been called names. I've been called a Nazi for supporting Trump. I've been called a racist. I mean, I'm just sick of this. We need to all mature. And look, with Yoho, JD, I'm with you. We don't know that it happened, but let's admit it. It probably did happen because even if he didn't say it, that's probably how the guy feels. It's how I feel, but I'm not going out and saying it either.
Right.
And also, like, look at our press secretary, the little Barbie doll. I love her, but a lot of people don't. We just heard audio. It sounds very clear that a reporter called her a lying BIT.
No, that is not true.
That didn't happen.
That is not true.
She said you don't want to engage.
Once again, right-wing
you're wrong.
nonsense.
It's not right-wing nonsense. That was debunked 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah, but
you're incorrect about that.
Look, my bad, but guys,
no problem.
Let's admit this. Whether somebody heard it in the hallway or not, these kind of things get said on Capitol Hill all the time.
And it's wrong.
I've heard it. No, you haven't been to a party, a fundraiser for politicians.
Does that make it right?
No, it doesn't make it right. I'm just saying, look, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I'm with you. You didn't deserve that. It probably was said.
All right, that's all that needs. I agree with you, Emmett. Let's end on a good note there. 257-5396. Who do we have next? Jim. Jim, let's go. Let's try to do this in 30 seconds. Try to get to as many calls as I can. Jim, go ahead.
What's up, Jim?
All right, you're not ready, Jim. Let's go to John. John, you are next on the Vegas Take. John, what's going on?
Hey, man. First of all, let's get one thing straight. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is smoking hot.
I'm
my God.
not going to disagree with you on that front, John.
Whoa, that baby.
Hey, where'd our cardboard cutout go, Brian?
It's in my home, actually.
Well, let's bring it back here.
JD, you better be careful. You better speak fondly of a future president. He's going to be the first.
Hey, you know what? I've been saying that for a long time. AOC. She has a major following. She says she's doing what Donald Trump did. She says very over the top things. She leverages social media. She has, she's a woman of color, which helps her as well. And she's not stupid, but she has some crazy policies.
Okay.
And she says some very crazy things, like for example, saying that the crime in New York City is because these families are poor because of COVID, and she's justifying it. That's an issue. That's a dangerous thing to say.
So is an issue of a congressman calling her an effing bitch. Let's go to Ray. Ray is next on the Vegas Take. Ray, I got about 30 seconds for you. Go.
Yeah, hi. Listen, I have no sympathy for her. The only reason is that, do you remember the squad? She was part of the squad, and you know what they called Donald Trump?
She was, yeah.
Every name in the book.
Yeah, they called him a Nazi and a racist and a fascist, and she has called a lot of.
So you're defending the behavior of a congressman calling her an effing bitch. Well, that's very nice.
Okay, so if someone calls me a Nazi, is that okay?
First of all, we can dive into that. We don't have time.
A woman who has said a lot of negative things to a lot of people is suddenly this giant victim, even though there's no proof of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy,
actually, there is.
No, there's not proof.
When you have several reporters
Brian, there is not proof of it.
There actually is proof of it, and there's evidence of it. When you have several other reporters that were there, get rid of this guy. When you have several other reporters that were there that are actually verifying her story, that is something we call evidence and proof. Just because you don't have audio of it doesn't mean it's not true. Just like when Donald Trump paid off Stormy Daniels $120,000. Guess what? We don't have a sex video, thank God, of that disgusting man having sex with Stormy Daniels. But guess what? When you have a $120,000 payment, that's proof. That's evidence.